Most High put together. We gon' see. In times.
Serpents lurking, watchers watching, Yasharala stay on point. They lurking. We under the covenant, we ain't got no other choice. Gird your loins up, armor up, cause it's time for war. We the generation that's gon' get on one accord. Serpents lurking, watchers watching, Yasharala stay on point. We under the covenant, we ain't got no other choice. Gird your loins up, armor up, cause it's time for war.
He wrote something. But yeah, he was talking about the Amalekites and how can they be, how can the Amalekites be already here if they stem from Esau? Esau don't come into Genesis 25. So how can the Amalekites be in Genesis 14 if Amalekites are from Esau? And it could be a situation where the writers are coming back writing and they noted that particular area or those people were Amalekites. And wrote that in later. And so the timeline could be a little deceived. Or you gotta say that these are different Amalekites. You see what I'm saying? You gotta say either the writers came in later and wrote the Amelekite because they knew that people to be the Amalekites, just like they knew Ethiopia was gonna be where Ethiopia is. They know that already because it's there. When they're writing it, that's what it is. Or you're saying that there's another Amalekite group. And then it takes you down a whole narrative where which Amalekites are he talking about? Throughout the text that he's destroying. Is that those even the Amalekites or what? So those are things too we gotta be mindful of, and we have to maybe even in Divine Prospect, was kind of going into a little of that how the text was compromised. I know you get into that too, heavy, and it's a lot for people to chew. We can, if brothers ain't strong in the text, brothers ain't strong in the faith. Some of these things could trip them up, and so a lot of times we don't bring this stuff out. Until we may bring them out against each other until but not to the babes in faith. But it is some of how these things are brought together, how the text is comprised, has caused us some issues within the text, within our understanding anyway. If we taking so many things literal and just not understanding that these things were written later. That's just all you need to think. Some things were written later. Sometimes scribes came in and wrote other things and added to certain things, and just the text having to be rewritten by Ezra. That whole narrative of the text having to be written by Ezra after the Babylonian exile, that's that itself, if you can understand that, and you kind of see it in the text, it's you can be safe with that. But I wouldn't go to, I've never taught a class on it, so because it could be a little heavy. Shalom Yehuda.
Hey, yo, shalom, brothers.
Grace and peace, bro.
Grace and peace. Grace and peace.
Yo, I just want to talk a little bit about that Amalekite point. So check it out, right? So some people will say like it's an anachronism in Genesis 14, like you was saying, like it don't fit the history and stuff like that. But when you actually look at the text, when we go into Genesis 14 and we compare these Amalekites with the Amalekites that we know the Israelites came across in Numbers 13, or even the Amalekites that King Saul was fighting, it's the same people and they're not Edomites. You can prove it very convincingly. Like I'll show you real quick. So check this out, right? So
I
Genesis
need to bring
14,
up the blue
7.
letter.
Yeah, you can get the blue letter, King.
And this what we saying. He didn't just come up to give us a claim. He came up and he said, I want to show you why I'm saying what I'm saying. I want to show you why I've come to this conclusion that these are people. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that's how you should do it, man. I don't know why people have issues with that, and but just share your methodology. Share this tab instead. You said Genesis what now?
So if you just go to the book of Genesis 14 verse 7, King.
I'm there. You want me to read?
Yeah, just bring that out, brother.
It says, and they returned and came to in Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwell in Hazantamar. And there went out of the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same as Zoar, and they joined the battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Sidor Laomer, the king of Elam, and Tidal, king of the nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elazar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelled in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in
my bad, King. Sorry for cutting you off. Are you trying to read it all for context, or?
No, I was waiting on you to tell me to stop.
My bad. I thought you were trying to read the context or something. It was only verse 7, King.
Okay. This your breakdown.
Yeah,
I'm waiting on you. I'm following you.
Yeah, man. I didn't want to cut you off, man. I thought maybe you're doing your own thing, but
oh no,
yeah.
man.
Oh, praises. So, just getting right back to it. So what we can see is Genesis 14 and 7. There's a nation of Amalekites there, right? So if we were just to take it for the plain Jane reading of the text, if we jump to now Genesis 36, right? Because there's a war going on in Genesis 14, the war of, I believe, they say the 5 kings with Abraham, and he's smiting this Amalekite country. And, when we go to now Genesis chapter 36, right? And we read, let me see, Genesis 36, where does Esau have Amalek now? What verse does it say he had Amalek? Is it verse 13? That's verse 12, right? So it says, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. So we can see that Esau's son Amalek wasn't born till, the time of Esau, son of Isaac. And obviously Genesis 14, Isaac wasn't born. This Amalek wasn't born. So you Amalek before Amalek born. Now a lot of people's claim to these Amalekites being Edomite is this right here, that there's no verse that clearly says Esau's son Amalek became his own nation known as the Amalekites. That's just a supposition. But that supposition gets completely deflated when you realize that, wait, there clearly was a nation established known as Amalekites, and they had their own country. And what makes it more of a nail in the coffin is this, right? So when you go down to what is it, from verse 19, it starts talking about the dukes, right? And there's a bit where it says that Amalek was a duke. I'm trying to find that verse, man, because I actually had a document. I had like a breakdown document on this. But the other day I was trying to clear up space on my computer, and I ended up deleting like a bunch of my breakdowns. So now I got to start from scratch, man.
Oh man.
But if you can find the verse that says Duke Amalek, I know it's in probably, is it towards the end? Yeah. Here, I think here it is, like, because here's the bit, right? The main bit is because I'll just summarize the. Let me Google it. Duke Amalek. Okay, yeah. Verse 16 says Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Ada. So here's the point, brother, right? Amalek was a duke, a governor over the land of Edom. Now, when you scrutinize the Amalekites that the Israelites went to war with, they were fighting those Amalekites in the land of Kadesh. Like we see in Genesis 14, it said the country of the Amalekites was the land of Kadesh. When you look at the border of the land of Kadesh, that isn't part of the land of Edom. That is out of the jurisdiction of Amalek, Duke of Edom. And Amalek was called the Duke of Edom, not called the Duke of Amalek. There's nothing that would insinuate that he had his own Amalekite people. So now, finally, the bit that I like to go to, right? And this doctrine, there's so many scriptures to break it down. But if you just go to Numbers 20, and we can land it here, and I think I can leave a very convincing case with just going to Numbers 20. So, are you right just to read verse 1, King?
Verse 1.
Yeah.
Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Sin in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there.
Praise Yah. So they've come into Kadesh, right? And they went into the desert of Sin. Yeah. Now, we know, according to Genesis chapter 14 and 7, Kadesh is the land of the Amalekites, according to Genesis 14 and 7. And even if you go to Numbers chapter 13, when Joshua goes in to scout the land, they go in by the south, and it says they went in by the desert of Sin, and it talks about how that's the Amalekites' land if you read Exodus 13 in your own time. But so here's the main point, right? So now we jump down from Numbers 20, and we jump down to verse 14, right?
And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that have befallen us. So
check this out. This is like a nuke right here, King. So the Israelites are currently in Kadesh. They're in the land of the Amalekites, according to Genesis 14 and 7. And what are the Israelites doing? They're sending messages to the Edomites saying, can we pass through your land? He's saying to the Edomite, he said, look, what? To the king of Edom, he said, thus saith thy brother. You know what? We'd have to read down a little bit, but the point is, he's asking the Edomites, can I enter your land? So Kadesh is at the border of Edom, is what I'm about to show you. Even if you get in the map, the border of Edom. So if Kadesh isn't part of Edom, it's a land that borders Edom. It shows that the Amalekites that border Edom are not Edomites. Because if they were Edomites, they'd have killed them. They had a beef. There's no way that these Amalekite Edomites would have allowed the Israelites to stay in their land. And that's not really the point, to be honest, because they had a beef with Amalek anyway. We know this. But the main point is they're asking the Edomites, can we pass through your country? But if the Amalekites are Edomites, they're already in the Edomite country. But if we just read on a little bit, King, going down from that verse from 15, going down to verse 18.
says how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel, and have brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Now, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword.
So you see, they're not in the land of Edom, they're in the land of Amalek. And Edom is refusing to let them enter their land to pass through. And even in verse 20, it says, and he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people, with a strong hand. It shows that Edom is a completely separate nation. It says, verse 21, thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him. And we can even see in the passage, the Israelites are appealing to the Edomites like, yo, but your brother Israel is saying this. They're humbling themselves to the Edomites saying, well, your brother. Nowhere did the Israelites ever come to the Amalekites and say, you guys are our brother, this, that, started quoting the history. The Amalekites are a complete separate race. Literally, the only reason why people say Amalekites are Edomites is because of Esau had a son called Amalek. Plenty of people
Right.
can have sons called Amalek. It doesn't mean that. You know what I'm saying, King?
Yeah, I understand. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand you saying that from the Genesis 14 or 15, the Amalekites were in Kadesh. We've established that Kadesh was on the border of Edom. If you just plain read, the Amalekites are being mentioned before Esau is being mentioned, their forefather, or their alleged forefather. And then you went here to the Numbers 20 to show us in Kadesh trying to pass through Edom. And Edom is not allowing us to pass through. Now, I'm not sure. But I would, if I want to challenge this, I would look for somehow we have to see if Amalekite is connected even to this prophecy here. Well, not to this prophecy, but are they connected to this situation here? Because I know Edom got judged for. We know Edom got judged for not letting Israel pass. They end up getting prophesied against them because of a destruction for them because they didn't let, because of what they did in Numbers 20. And if Amalekite is mentioned within that, then I would say that would be problematic. But as it stands with what you presented,
Wait, say that again. If Amalek was mentioned in what? Sorry, bro, I didn't catch that last bit.
in a prophecy that's connected to Edom not allowing us to pass through. So I don't know if is it Obadiah. Let me see where it's at, where Edom is judged for this.
In times. What? What is the substance of things that you can't see? The answer is faith. Turn me up a little bit. Look, what is the substance of things that you can't see? The answer is faith, and no matter what, I still believe.
Hold on, somebody just tried to come in. Oh, street baptism coming back in.
My fault,
Shalom,
nigga.
no, you good. Do
No,
you
I
know
just say
that
this is
passage where
working.
it's directly connected to Edom is saying, you know, where is that
I think you talk
for
about
these
Amos, right?
two things?
Y-
Yes, Amos. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
these two,
Amos,
three
bro. Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Right,
Amos
right,
is
right.
cool, man.
This
Yeah,
if
go
Amalek is
ahead.
mentioned in something connected to that, uh, then it will be problematic. I don't know if it's mentioned there. I just know Esau is judged for this particular situation. But if I see it there and I see Amalekite there mentioned within that judgment, then I will feel that'll be problematic. I'm like, well, nah, he's talking. This Edom is that Amalekite. You feel what I'm saying?
I
I'm
hear
not
you
saying
saying.
it's there. I'm not saying it's
I don't
there.
think Amalek is here though. I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
don't
saying
see
it's there.
Amalek. Amos chapter 1, right? Yeah, looking at it now,
Yeah, yeah,
brother.
yeah.
I don't see Amalek there. Maybe you can show me something, but I don't see it.
Yeah. That's how I would challenge it though. I would look back at all the times I see Amalek and all of those judgments, because Amalek is judged a lot in the text, and to see if I could connect it. That'll be the work. At the moment, you know, what you're presenting, you know, you make a good case. But you know, to put it on the cycle, I would have to pull up all of those prophecies against Amalekite, against the Amalekites, and see it does the methodology hold. You know,
I
that's
hear
how I
that,
would test
King.
it.
Now let me just throw this one more thing out there for you with this one, yeah. And yeah, there's actually a bunch of scriptures I got on this, and thank God I found my notes in my phone. I've actually still got a note where I've got this doctrine here, right? So if you see this, my brother, yeah, in the book of 1 Samuel 27 and verse 8, because when you go into like the nuances of the border of the land of the Amalekites, Kadesh isn't only their land. It says from like Egypt to the land of Shur, there's like certain borders that Samuel references. And 1 Samuel 27:8 says, it says, and David and his men went up and invaded the Geshurites and the Gezerites and the Amalekites, for those nations were of old. I believe the word old there is olam, which means ancient or everlasting. The inhabitants of the land, as thou goest to Shur, even unto the land of Egypt. So what this conveys is that the Amalekites are like an ancient nation that have always had these borders. Now that wouldn't be the same for the Edomites, because they recently seized that land, you know, shortly at, well, I don't think it tells you exactly when they got the land, but you know, we know they took it from the Horites.
The
Deuteronomy
Horites,
1,
right?
it tells us the Most High gave them that land, which is still going to be recent compared to, you know, an ancient people that have always lived in the land, because within the context of this time, the Edomites, you know, and the Israelites, they were still a pretty young nation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it's almost like they could be like the Horites would be maybe a nation of old.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that right. I see what you like. I see what you're doing.
You see, brother, that there's more
Yeah,
ways to looking
I
at the
just
script.
gotta put it through the windmill though. I just
Oh,
gotta
you
put
gotta
it
use
through
the
the grinder and
methodology,
just
right?
but yeah.
You gotta use the methodology.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you doing. I see what you're doing. The Gezerites, and these Amalekites. Yeah. Nations for those nations were of old the inhabitants of the land. They've been in this land.
And check this, bro. Peep how it's always identifying the Amalekites as their own nation, and then it's saying these nations of old. Yo, if the Edomites are Amalekites, the Amalekites are even younger a nation of Edomites. So why is it putting them in the sentence of being Asian? Does that accurately describe a nation that springs forth from Esau, being a nation of old inhabiting this land? Furthermore, at what point did the scripture ever tell us that the Amalekites that descended from Esau took hold of this land from Shur to Egypt. The scripture is very meticulous in ironing out the borders of Edom. It always tells us where their jurisdiction was, and never was it from Shur to Havilah. So why would it now tell us that, oh, these Amalekites are Edomites? It even made a clear point of, yo, Israel was seeking passage through Edom when they were in the land of Amalek. You know, I think all these nuances when it comes to border, when it's talking about them being a nation, an ancient nation, I think we have to consider all of these things in just the context of, you know, Esau and the Edomites, bro. Like, this would be the Edomites' children. Why would their children be called the ancient people?
Yeah, that's yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that. That's how you I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. And yeah, that's what I would do. I would go look at every Amalekite verse and just see. So are you saying, like, will you say the prophecies against the Amalekites will be these old ancient inhabitants of the land? You're saying there's no mention, Amalekites never really, the Esau Amalekites, you're saying, never became a nation.
No, it just says that, because specifically I taught you in Genesis 36, bro. It says that he was a duke. Amalek was a duke over the land of Edom. So why would
So
he
you
be
saying he ruled over Edom? He was a ruler over Edom.
Over Edom, not over Shur to Havilah. These areas are clearly distinct from the border of Edom, because when we see the Israelites in Kadesh, they're asking the Edomites, "Yo, can we come into your land?" But they're in Kadesh, bro. I thought Kadesh was the land of Edom. I thought Amalek was just a son of Edom, bro. It don't make no sense, man. That Numbers 20, yo, there's so many passages, bro. You know what? How about I send you an email with the scriptures that I've got, and you can look over it yourself, maybe.
Yeah. Definitely. You can send that, man. I'll definitely be useful.
Praise Yah. And all I say is this doctrine's got heavy implications, because most One West Israelites, they really go crazy for this Amalek doctrine. They say the people in the land
No. This is very problematic. If you're right, this is very problematic, sir.
Hey.
And this is something that we have to look at and say, man, how in the world did we miss that?
Praise the Most High. And I can't take full credit for this. There was a brother on Clubhouse. He went by the name of Judah. Obviously not me, but and he put me onto this. So I just like to give credit where credit's due. He don't go on there all the time anymore. Right. And I'm in this room on Clubhouse a lot called the Lion's Den with some free-thinking Israelites. We know that Esau is an Arabian man and all of this, and you know, we can prove all of this stuff. But yeah, praise the Most High. I'll send you them scriptures, bro. And let me tell you, there's a whole bunch of scriptures that only make the point even clearer. And you'll notice that the only verse that not so-called Israelites, I'm just so used to saying so-called, the only verse that Israelites have got right to say that these are Edomites is, oh, Esau had a son called Amalek. It don't go any deeper than that, bro.
Right. Yeah, you make some very interesting points. Very interesting points there.
Now let's explain to these people why the book of Judith is not in. No, I'm just
Street Bass says you brother Nabala, you heard some of what was brother Yehuda was bringing out.
Yeah, I was listening the whole time.
Oh, okay, con. What you think? What you think about?
See, I came across that. I came across that in like 2018, 19 reading with some brothers in New York City. And my conclusion at the time, because I wasn't trying to get in debt with Edom and all that, it was just that it was an anachronism. What he said when he first.
What he said earlier, okay.
Yeah, because I was never going deeper into it, But
what are we saying anachronism is? What are we saying that is?
It's something that's placed out of time. Something that's placed out.
Oh, yeah, it's placed out of the timeline. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, like Batman in 1901, stuff like that.
Got you. Yeah, I definitely, I'm intrigued enough to definitely dive into that. So please, brother, if you get a chance, send that other information, and I definitely look into the matter further. I had a brother O'Shea Yah saying, when did the Kenite bond to Israel? I got a lesson on who the Kenites are, and I give a little information on that and go through some sources. I probably get them a little mixed up. I want to say the Kenites are like Jethro and them, and Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, and what was the sister name? The sister that killed the Moabite king in Judges. I think she was a Kenite
Jael,
also. Jael.
make that her name. I think I
Jael.
was talking about her the other day. Jael, that might
That
be her
could.
name. But
Yeah, that could
she put the
be.
stake in his head and took the hammer.
Yeah. She put the tent peg in their head. They was a nomadic people. And I think Saul too. There's a verse where Saul made them come out of Amalek. I think he was dealing with the Amalekites. He made them come out of the Amalekite of the land. He spared them. He said, "Come on about it, because we about to run through them." And then too, there was another time where David, and like I say, it's another people that's kind of similar name to the Kenites. But it was also a time when David had he was coming back after saving the women and children. He was fighting one war, and then the women and children ended up getting taken. He had to go and fight them, and then some of the people didn't want to go back. I'm just paraphrasing because I'm I know the comments. I know I know the subscribers. I know y'all smart, and y'all know these stories. But and when he comes back, he wins the battle. Some of the people didn't want to go, and the people who didn't want to go, the people who went out there to save the women and children and get them back, they were like, "Man, we not giving them nothing, man. We ain't giving them none of the reward and all the stuff that we done got back here." And Dave was like, "Nah, give it to them, man. Give them what they supposed to get." But he also gave the Kenite something, and I think at that point, and it's speculation. But I did do a lesson that had some other sources there, some outside sources, and I lay things out in the text with some PowerPoints and all of that. He ends up handing them some of the rewards also. And I think they was kind of in that land at that point. You also got Jeremiah 35 with the Rechabites, which is also an extension of the Kenites. And the Most High saying there, using that example of the Rechabites, from that extension of Rachab, he said, he made a vow not to drink or not to, to be like nomadic and to live in tents. And the Most High used him as an example, or the Rechabites as an example, and told Jeremiah, "Hey man, put all this wine in the temple." And he put all this wine in the temple and brought the Rechabites in, and he said he used that example. And when he brought the Rechabites in, the Rechabites was like, "Nah, man, we not finna drink that. We made a vow to our forefather since our forefather, we made a vow that we wouldn't let no wine touch our lips, that we would do this, da 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 da." And the Most High turned to Jeremiah and said, see how these folks will listen to their forefather, and how devoted they are to their forefather. But my people, they won't listen to their spiritual father. They won't listen to me. And he said there will always be a Rechabite serving. Matter of fact, let me just get it right here. That last verse there in Jeremiah 35.
Yo,
Says,
before you read that, bro, I'm just gonna say shalom. I sent you the email, so yeah, well, and you got that. But yeah, y'all bless brother Phineas and brother Nagath, man. Y'all bless kings.
God
Most I
bless,
keep
brother.
you.
God bless. God bless. Rest in peace.
Likewise, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Likewise, kings. Y'all bless. Shalom.
Shalom. Says, therefore, verse 19, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Jonadab, the son of Rechab, shall not want a man to stand before me forever. All right. Jonadab, the son of Rechab, shall not want a man to stand before me. Whatever another version of that, will always have descendants who serve me. The Rechabites will always have descendants who serve me. And even before that, just that Jethro knew certain things, knew how to serve the Lord and so forth. But like I said, I do got a good lesson on that. The anachronism. But yeah, the brother made some good points. I'm looking at it like, that would be crazy. If he would be right, that would be crazy. But I definitely have to, put it through the wash and the spin cycle and test it. And that'll be my methodology, is to see every verse that the Amalekites, or especially those prophecies about them being destroyed. I'll look at those and then see if that's gonna fit with the people of the ancient and so forth. But
These are Strongs. The Strongs are gonna take every Amalek.
oh yeah,
verse
I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through that. I'm gonna go through it. And I know my brother, he probably done been through it. I'm sure he went through it also. So that's just how we do. And I'm saying it ain't got to be nothing person's doctrinal stuff, and it should be a nuance that maybe maybe done came across, man. And maybe the anachronism could have been, scholars being lazy and just wanted to just say, and just and kind of deal with it. But there are, a lot of people being renamed. There aren't a lot of names. There ain't a lot of names in the text. A lot of people are renamed the same, especially because a lot of these names have meaning. All the names have meaning, for the most part. Names be getting used over and over. So he can have a great point. He definitely has piqued my interest, and I definitely look into it. Y'all have any other questions?
He gon' send his hand. Destruction gotta come. That's how he get us out this lane. The devil working hard, trying to get us out his plane. His sheep hear his voice, so he can't get us out his hand. We gon' trust the Son of Man. Blow your wings, Father. Your kingdom coming. We just trying to make it in, Father. Rather we